Well, I wasn't sure we were going to get here this week. I have not been at all well for much of this week. Well, actually, all of this week. But I'm summoning up the strength to do this video in a few bits so that we get to carry on talking about the stuff I want to talk about. And this week, I think that has to start with football. Can't avoid it, really. Table talk. Welcome to Model Kit Stuff, where you'll find all of this. Hello, welcome to Model Kit Stuff. My name is Jason and I'm a bit lackluster today, and I've been like this all week. In fact, I've been a fair bit worse than this most of the week. So a couple of weeks ago my partner had COVID, kids have all had runny noses and stuff and been unwell and what have you, and it finally caught up with me. And it started last weekend and then it revved itself up, and by the middle of the week it was like flu, everything aching, nose and so on. Today I'm not so bad in terms of the head cold, but very weary. I feel like I could sleep for a month. So yeah, it's just not very pleasant. So I've not tested for COVID. I don't have any test kits, and I'm certainly not paying for one. So I suspect it might be, but I'm treating it a bit like a heavy cold. But it ain't pleasant, and I've got no sense of taste at the moment, or very little. I do have taste, but it's not sharp, if that makes sense. So apologies if I seem a little bit lackluster, but we've still got stuff to talk about, and we need to start off with the football. Now, just like the other week when I said we're not a politics channel, so let's not talk politics, this isn't a sports channel either. However, I can't not comment on it due to where we are. Now, it's really interesting because I have absolutely no interest in sport whatsoever. I never enjoyed playing sport, doesn't matter what it is. And I was in the lacrosse team for a while and what have you. I have no, believe it or not, no real great hand-eye coordination for a sports level. I remember playing squash once and just standing there saying, I can't actually see the ball. The sport I've been most good at over the years was badminton, because it's nice and slow, you got time to react. But never really understood the joy of playing sport, and watching somebody else play sport completely don't get. So the whole world of sport completely passes me by, which is fine by me. However, my dad liked some of his sports. He watched the rugby and he watched England football tournaments. My brother is into football. He supports Portsmouth, because that's where my grandparents came from, and where my dad was born. And he likes his running. In fact, he used to be a running trainer for some serious people, rugby players and Olympics people. He's very serious into his running, but the whole thing just passed me by. However, a sort of a hangover from that is I still watch England when they're in tournaments. European Cup, World Cup, I always watch that. And as a kid, it wasn't too much of a problem, because you watched like the first 2, maybe 3 games, and then we were out. But since this Gareth Southgate's taken over, and I remember him taking the the fateful penalty where he missed and what have you. So I sort of know the story. But since he's taken over, we keep getting stuck in the thing right till the end. So it's sort of really good, but at the same time a bit annoying because I've got other things I want to do in my 2 hours. Yeah, England through to the final. Really, really great. I mean, I don't know who these players are. I don't follow club football in any shape or form. I've been to one football match in my life when I was 15 to watch Stockport play, and my only real memory of it is that they were wearing yellow strips. These are the days of stands, and the other team tried to wreck the train station and tried to chase us, and police had to keep them apart. You know, we were 3 15-year-old lads, what these group of hooligans playing at. So it was just a very scary, unpleasant experience. Never been to a football match since. So yeah, I quite enjoy watching the England matches, and although I'm not really interested in football, I do jump up and shout and scream when they score a goal and call the ref names when they miss. So I can't imagine how people who follow football all the time and are into it must feel when ultimately something goes wrong and we don't win. So tomorrow it's the final. We will see what happens. I've got to say, Gareth Southgate has really done a good job in constantly getting us to these places. So I hope for his sake that they win, and then maybe he can retire and take a back seat and go, you know what, my job is done. Because the football players, whether they become heroes or not, they're still going to earn the millions and still going to be wealthier than the rest of us put together, and, you know, grow up and do whatever they're going to do. So, you know, less fussed about them, but Gareth Southgate, he's put his heart and soul into it, bless him, and he deserves the win. He really, really does. So for his sake alone, I really hope they beat the Spanish. I believe that Spain are favourites to win, and I haven't seen any of their matches, so I don't know, but apparently they've been overall the best performing side through there. So we will see. Like any football match, there always is there's an element of luck that you make, and there's an element of luck with what happens, and you know, you just need a little bit of luck on your side, and also try and get ahead in the first half, because England seem to run out of steam in the second half and what have you. So hey ho. So that's the sport out of the way. I know many of you aren't English and are maybe not interested. I have to say, I'm part. There's Scottish blood in me. There's a bit of German blood in me. There's probably Norman blood, which probably means Danish, actually. You know, I work with a really nice chap who lives in Amsterdam. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a game. It's a bit of fun for a couple of hours. So whether you're supporting Spain or whether you're supporting England, I hope you have a good match. And if you're supporting neither, then England needs all the support it can get. Right, shall we move on? Yes, subscribers. More subscribers this week. Thank you very much. I actually got, I think it was 6 new subscribers on the back of the first impressions of this bad boy here. Yeah, I will talk about the Puma in a minute. But yeah, if you're a new subscriber, a big welcome to the channel. This is the spot where we talk about all sorts of stuff, as you've just seen. But also you find out what's going on behind the scenes, what we're planning on. We talk about what happened last week, and we talk about what's going up, stash ads and so on. And if you hang on till the end of the video, I've got some more of my stash to sell off to create space to get more stashing. All good. Right then, shall we start with last week? And Monday we kicked off with one of these. So I felt fairly sure that most modelers weren't using one of these. I certainly wasn't until a few weeks ago. And it got a lot of interest. Everyone could see the value in this as a tool. And certainly one or two people said, right, I'm going to go and get one. And even had some comments about what they get used for, other things, cleaning shoes. And a lady was telling me that she remembers them from the 60s for being used for when you were cleaning your arms and having a jab for dispensing the alcohol. So, you know, probably the origins of where they come from, no doubt. But yeah, really, really nice addition to my set of modelling tools and bits and pieces. Anyway, if you didn't see it, that video was out on Monday and it's in the Focus on Tools playlist. Even though I forgot to change it from products to tools in the video, it's tool video. Right, and then that took us to Wednesday, which was this, the brand new 2024 Miniart new tool full interior kit. There is a external only kit as well, but yeah, this has got the full interior engine and everything. What a lovely kit. And as I said in my video, it's a contender for my kit of the year. So for those of you that don't know, at the end of the year, I'll have a little chat about, you know, all the new kits that I got, the new tool ones, which was my favourite and why. This is a contender, and it's going to be a real difficult decision because I had a clear favourite and now I don't. So it's going to be difficult, and they're very, very different kits in every aspect. So how I choose an overall winner, I have yet to work out in my mind. But this is a lovely, lovely, comprehensive kit, a real builder's kit. Someone made the comment that they didn't think they had the skill set yet for one of these. Rubbish. All you need is patience. It's like any other kit. You remove the plastic part, you clean up the plastic part, you paint the plastic part, you glue it on. It's just there's more of them, and sometimes they're a bit fiddly. And I appreciate some people might struggle with some of the small stuff, but just take your time, have a plan, work your way through it. So if those of you who perhaps don't watch, but if you ever catch an episode of The Model Ship, Ron Calvary's channel, that's exactly what he does. He only restarted building models fairly recently, I guess 5 years, 4 years, something like that now. And he said, right, okay, we're going to start off with the 1/200 Bismarck. He didn't go, oh, I'm not sure I've got the skill set. He just went for it. Now, there's some things he chose not to do, and there was other things that he did, but he got through it. It's the old adage about how to eat an elephant. He got in it by just planning through, how am I going to do this? How am I going to tackle it? What can I do? And be honest with your abilities. And the result is, 3 200 scale ships under his belt, and a large scale submarine that he's progressing through, and the skills being applied in the submarine are far beyond the skills he had when he started on the Bismarck, and he did a good job of the Bismarck. So I don't accept that anyone who's maybe if you've never built a model before, you don't start on this, but if you've built several models, you would get through this. And Miniart's instructions are good, so don't be put off by the size of it, and maybe get the one without the interior kit, which would be far less fiddly if you wanted. But yeah, such a nice kit, and I'll be surprised if I haven't started this before the end of the year. I really, really will. So we do have a pipeline. So for those of you who may be new, as you know, we have the Scharnhorst on the go at the moment. We'll be talking about that in a minute. And that's my main build, and I also have a secondary build, which at the moment is 2 builds because we finished the B17. So when those are out of the way, we've got a Miniart kit coming up, and then we've got a large scale sci-fi kit being built, and then to be decided. Now, I've got a couple of options in my head. We will see, and I might even put it to a vote if I can't decide myself. We will see, but it could be this, couldn't it? Could be, no reason why not. Although I don't know. I'm trying to do things different this year. I'm trying to. There's a bit of a theme running through this year. Everything we do is new, and you could say, well, I have built an armoured car on the channel. I've done the ferret, and I have done a Miniart kit on the channel. We did the tractor. So you could say there's nothing new in there. I mean, I could argue I've never built a Puma on there, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I do have a couple of things I was thinking about. So I've got a Japanese, the old Airfix 70s Japanese bamboo HQ house, the proper full diorama with the Japanese guys with the bikes and what have you. And I got, some of you will remember this, I got a lot of greenery and foliage so we could build a proper jungle and extra palm trees and stuff. So I've got that project that we could tackle, because that's very, very different. And probably wouldn't take as long as you might think. I've got a figure-in plan. But I think most of you aren't that fussed about figures, and when we build this Miniart diorama soon, there's a number of figures in there, so I might push the figure out for this year. Yeah, so there's that. I was thinking of maybe doing the Miniart bulldozer, which was a present that was given to me, because we'll have done a few aircraft, so possible. And I've also got the Thunderbirds spaceship, but we'll have just done a spaceship, so that might get pushed out again for another year. So I don't know, but I'm sort of feeling probably a vehicle is the way to go next. I mean, we have done a vehicle earlier in the year, but maybe it's time for another vehicle. And as I'm tidying through the stash and working out what I've got, the kits that I'm selling off are mainly aircraft, not all. I've got a 1350 ship coming up soon, which I think a lot of my ship followers might be interested in, because there's photo etch in it and stuff. It's all pretty much ready to go. So I won't talk about that now, because it's a sister ship, and I've got all of them. So I don't need all three. So I'll get rid of one of them. So don't know. I mean, we could do the blue tits, but I think I've got to be in the mood for that. And I'm not in the mood at the moment, because I've been having some problems with my airbrushing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so that was Wednesday. You will get used to me going off on a tangent. I'm going to have to break the camera for a minute. I'll be back in a sec. And then on Friday, last night, we finally said bye-bye to the B17 build. And I tried to get it in as close to the end point as possible. So I finished it the day after the deadline. I don't think I was alone in finishing it just after, because there was you had a week to get photos in, so you had a bit of grace on that, really, didn't you? So we finished that build. At the back end of that build, we'd started the Bulldog, so we'd already started on that, and then the Lifeboat turned up, which I'd always intended to stop everything and build. So I ended up with two builds going, and that's where we started this weekend. So I wasn't sure which way I was going to go at the weekend, but I had a look at the Scharnhorst material, and I reckon I had two videos worth. And I'd sort of forgotten where you guys were with the Scharnhorst build, because I know where I am. It's right above my head there, and I see it every day. So I know where I am, I'm familiar with it, and I'm itching to get going. So this weekend is Scharnhorst build weekend, and I'll start doing some more on the Scharnhorst, and I'm really excited to get stuck into that. because it's been a little bit of a break while we're rushing through the B17. Yeah, and this weekend I was working on the Bulldog and the Lifeboat. I'll show you those in a sec. And that's what I've done a little bit through the week. But you've got to remember the B17 was done over seven videos, and we crammed a few in the week before. So if I hadn't have done that, the B17 would have gone on for another couple of weeks. So I think it was good to get that out of the way, and I was pleased with the B17 after I'd had a few problems with the last aircraft I'd done towards the end and wasn't happy with it. With the B17, I was really, really happy until the very last day. Once again, I had some problems with the aftermarket stuff. So the wheels, the resin wheels I bought, had not catered for, in any shape or form, and how to attach them onto the model kit. Now, the model kit used like a finger that went into a hole in the wheel, whereas the resin wheels were just the resin wheels. So you're relying on a fairly weak CA bond for those wheels to hold up that whole kit. So it seems to be okay, but didn't like it, hadn't been thought through. So that was one issue. And then almost one of the last things I did was put on the olive drab paintwork on the engine nacelles and in front of the cockpit windows. And I managed to take off a little bit of the decal. Now, at the time, that really, really annoyed me, but these things happen sometimes. So I didn't think too much about it until I started working on my Bulldog again this week. And I think I have found a problem, not with the kit, but with one of the products I've been using on it. So I have had the same problem with my Bulldog. I've had decals that have come away in a way that I don't usually experience. So masking tape has managed to take off a small section on the tail and a section underneath. So really flipping annoying, because I was doing quite a good job of it until then. And I thought about it, and there's a common denominator, and I'm interested if any of you guys have had the same problem or can think of something I might have done wrong here. But the common factor between the Bulldog and the B17 is I've applied decals for the first time onto the A-stand acrylic varnish. I have never had an issue with decals not bonding properly on a clear coat until I started using this. So I've used this before, but I've only ever used it as top coats. So I've stopped. I'm not going to use it on this as a top coat. So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. So when I came to spray the green on this, I did all my masking in without using tape to make sure I didn't take off the roundels on the side. And I used cling film, yeah. But we've done it, and it's on, and it looks great. But it's not the only problem I've had with with this build. I've had a problem again, which I've never had before, which was this product again, with it pooling when I sprayed it onto Vallejo silver. So Model Air silver, and when I came to spray the A-stand on, it pooled like it didn't like the oil in it or something, but don't know. So I ended up having to sand it back and repaint it, and as such the paint finish is no longer as good as it was when I showed it you a couple of weeks ago. So I'm gonna finish the model because I'm really enjoying the model. But I'm sort of at that point where I know I'm not going to display that one now. And when we've finished it, I'll probably go and buy another one. is what will happen, because I want to have one on display because it's such a nice model. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm always my own worst critic. But yeah, it doesn't look right. So anyway, you can see the progress of the Bulldog. Might not look like we've done much since you last saw it. You can only see the green, but we've painted all the other parts, the engine parts, the struts, so they're just ready to be glued together. And I've got a little bit of detail painting on the wings and around the cabin. Add the glazing, the windshield, and one or two other little parts, and then put the rigging on the lower wing. And then it's build up the engine, put the top wing on, flip it over, do the rigging, put the glazing in that, and put the wheels on, and it will be done. I say just. So yeah, and in between doing bits of the Bulldog, we started on the Lifeboat. So this is the blue that's supplied in the kit. I think it's a bit pale, personally. I think it's the wrong colour, but probably the closest that they had in the Humbrol range. They do limit themselves using their own paints, but you would argue the same about Tamiya as well. So that's gone down really well. Airbrushed on nice and smoothly, as their acrylics generally do. Tidy up on this, wasn't too bad. You'll see there was a little bit of filling to do down the side. Nothing too major. So now we've got to mask the blue off and paint the black, which makes the bumpers, and then we mask that off, paint the grey deck, and then I'm gonna brush paint in the black seats. There's some nice photographs of the Shannon class Lifeboat on the internet, and some good ones of the one from Scarborough. So there's a couple of details we can add just through paint that Airfix haven't picked up quite correctly. So they've missed at the back there. There's two little round lumps. Let's see if we can get you to see those. You see the two little round lumps at the bottom there? They should be silver. So that needs sorting. And they did, interestingly enough, put an extra colour in my box, which was silver. So I got 7 different colours, and I think it was 9 paints when you should have got 6 according to the packaging. But also this skid under here, the keel is protected again with a silver strip because it's designed to be beached. And the same with these fins at the back end here. They have like these protective covers on, which again are stainless steel, I think. So we've got some little bits we can do over and above the instructions. Plus, I'm doing a bit of scratch building on it. I know it's a starter kit, but it doesn't have windscreen wipers. And for me, the side rails were a bit chunky. Not the uprights, but the chain across. It's like a black covered chain. It's fairly thin. So I wanted to reduce that down a bit. So if you saw my little short video, you could see I'd already altered them. But you know, I pretty much removed the parts, cleaned up and built it in an afternoon. So now it's just a case of painting it, and that'll take a bit longer. But there you go. So that's my 2 current builds. And this weekend I am back on the Scharnhorst. So that leads me nicely into what's coming up next week. Time for another break, guys. So Monday will be part 2 of the big debate, where we'll talk about what people said. And if you missed the big debate video, that was a week on Monday gone. We talked about do people think they would be happy to spend £1 or £2 more for some seat harnesses and some paint masks in an Airfix kit, something they don't currently supply. So it'll be interesting to share what people have said. In the future, I'm going to do those as live streams because I can now do that. And it'll just be easier, and we can do it all together and have that conversation and justify our stances on things. But yeah, that is Monday's video coming up. Then on Wednesday, it's the first impressions of the Shannon class Lifeboat, and it's not my usual enthusiastic first impressions for an Airfix kit. Not because I don't love the kit, because I do, but all will be revealed in the first impressions. Yeah, it's a real shame. It annoyed me. It was sort of one step forward and one side winging step back in this kit. But we'll talk about that on Wednesday, and then on Friday, Sean Horst is back, the next episode, and from now on you should get an episode every other week, unless I say otherwise, and if I plan to change that, you'll be the first to know if you happen to catch Table Talk, as you should do every week. So that's the plan for the week ahead, and we'll sort of settle back down into normal routine now. It shouldn't take too long. I reckon the Bulldog's got a couple of weekends in it. Shannon class, maybe 3 weekends in it. So, yeah, but I'm filming it slightly different. So I'm a little concerned that I might run out of material. So we might do a Sean Horst back-to-back maybe, or we might do a live stream because we've not done one for ages, and do something a bit different. If one Friday I think I've not got the material I need for a build, I'm not going to sweat it and get stressed about it. If I haven't, then I haven't. So yeah. So yeah, that very don't know what I'm saying. Can't think straight. Brain's dead. Now, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, I said I'd added another ship to my stash, and in fact, I've added 3, albeit one being a boat, over the last 2 weeks. So I showed you the Schelsvig Holstein last week, and the Lifeboat. And this is the other one. I've never had this kit before, and I wanted it for a specific reason. So let's show you. It's this, the Airfix Vasa, which the reason why I wanted to buy this is for the decoration. Now, since this kit was originally tooled back in the late 70s, let's see, it'll tell us on here, 1971, the early 70s, I should say. It's only 1 year younger than me, this thing. Since this was originally tooled, they've found out a lot about the Vasa, and I did start collecting a wooden part work on it, which is supposedly the most accurate kit, but the person that was supplying me was doing some things he shouldn't do, and he lost his position as a result of that, and took me for a ride along the journey, and I paid him for stuff I never got. So the upshot was that I never finished getting all the parts for that kit. But one of the things they now know about her is her decoration, and she's far more colourful than is depicted on here. You see they've got sort of gold on here and then red there. It's nothing like the extent. All these figures, for example, were painted lifelike with faces and stuff. So obviously there's a Vasa museum because they raised her, and there's a museum, so a bit like their equivalent of the Mary Rose, and they've learnt a lot about her. So I want to build her and decorate her as she should be decorated, which is not as per this kit. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. And actually, having had a quick look inside, it's in fairly decent nick. The moulds are in good nick. So I don't think it's been re-released too often. But yeah, quite a nice looking kit actually. So that is 3 plastic tall ships. Obviously I've got some wooden ones, some you've not yet seen. But the thing that's, all 3 of them I've got for a specific reason. And there's only one other tall ship I would ever add, and that would be if Airfix did a new tool of HMS Victory. Then I'd bite the hand off at a decent scale. I don't mean a small one, but you know, at a decent scale. So this one I bought because I want to do the painting on it and get it accurate, so that'll be a lot of fun. I've got the Golden Hind because it needs some modifications, but it's 1/72 scale, and there's lots of ship modelling, wooden ship modelling stuff that I've actually got in my stocks that I can use on that wooden blocks and bits and pieces, so we can have some fun making alterations to that kit. That should be fun. And then I've got that large Hella Soleil Royale, which I bought because I fell in love with the images of it in a modelling book I got as a kid, and I really wanted to build it. And in fairness, I didn't realise how big it was when you see it as a picture in a book. I didn't realise, but I thought I want to be able to paint as good as that. And now when I look at the pictures, I think I can paint better than that. So that's the reason I've got them. But yeah, a nice little ad. It's currently available. I would say a new version is not one to avoid in this instance, because it's not had the hammering that the Victory tool has had. But yeah, quite looking forward to that. And it gave me another 4, because it's a skill level 4, gave me another 4 points. So I think I've got now my flying hours. I think I'm at 50 currently. I want to get to 60 because that gets me a Series 9 kit, or well, any kit I want really that are on offer with the scheme. So yeah, that's where that's the latest stash ad, the Airfix Fassa. It's a bit different, isn't it? So anyway, that is not the last you're going to see of ships, because I ordered another one this week. Yeah, you can't have too many ships. It's just a fact of life. So again, this is one that I've been after for quite some time. And I said a few weeks ago, I think I said it about the Schleswig Holstein, that you sometimes you just sit it out and wait for the opportunity. And this was another one of those. Yeah, I will share that with you when it arrives. It should arrive in time for next week's video. Right, time to thank some special people. Some people have very kindly donated to the channel, and I greatly appreciate any donations, because it all goes to buying more kits and products and things to review. And I've recently bought some more products to talk about, and we've got some more airbrushing stuff to come along. We've got another tutorial to film and another airbrush to review, and then we're going to do some 1 or 2 other videos about airbrushes that you don't see commonly talked about, so we'll do that as well. But these people donated in the last week, and if you care to donate to the channel, I will give you a shout out in person. So Charles Parker, thank you very much for your super thanks, greatly appreciated. Bushranger 900, thank you very much for your super thanks as well. I hope that advice was helpful. Chris Berridge, a big thank you for your donation, very greatly appreciated. And Paul of Plastic Monkey fame, a big thank you to you. And to those of you that have contributed over the last few months since I've been allowing people to put a penny or two into my PayPal, a big thank you. We have really moved the channel on, and some of the kits that we have bought we probably couldn't have got without the donations, such as the Puma one that we were just looking at, and one or two others. So there was the Magic Factory Bradley, probably wouldn't have got that without donations for the channel. So yeah, all appreciated, thank you very much. While we're talking about thank yous, I have a massive thank you to say to everybody who got involved in the B17 group build. It was a real success from my point of view. And why? Because of all you guys getting involved, building your models, contributing to the build update conversations. And yeah, it's not like Facebook where you can put text in and share your own pictures and stuff. I appreciate that, and one or two people I think were a little frustrated, but it's a YouTube channel, and you know, this is about creating content for my YouTube channel. So if I went and did it on Facebook, it wouldn't be supporting this channel, would it? And for one or two people that suggested, you know, that people went off and built their B17 somewhere else, you know, that's not helping me. That is actually you taking people away from me, and people that do that generally get blocked. So just be careful. This is all about supporting the channel and having all the content in one place. I have considered constructing a website, and maybe in a few years' time, when I've got a bit more time, we might do that, and then we can link everything that's on the channel and present it nicely. But right now, I don't have time to do anything more than I'm currently doing. So we won't be having a Facebook channel that supports, because it takes an awful lot of managing, and I work full-time and have kids and a family. So right now it's YouTube and YouTube only, but I think by doing the little updates and people being able to come and talk and share problems, it's probably the best that I could do. Of course, in the future I can do more live streams around that, which I had intended to do with the B17, but with the swapping of the camera it created a problem and I couldn't live stream, and I now can. So it'd be better again in the future, no doubt. So I found it as a lot of fun, and I think I've certainly had the feedback that a lot of people enjoyed it. So I don't know what we'll do next. There's part of me, the rebellious part of me, that wants to do a ship group build. And whenever, you know, people talk about group builds, there's always someone who says, "Oh, what about a ship?" And they'll go, "No, don't be daft. It takes too long." But what's the rule book on group builds? Why can't we have a ship group build over the next 12 months? We all build a ship. I don't know. I don't know if people would actually be interested in doing a ship group build. Ship builders, we're a funny lot, and we're setting our ways in our build projects, and probably there wouldn't be enough people wanting to get involved in a ship group build to make it viable. I don't know, maybe something for another day. But when you look at the B17 group build and how many people said, "Yep, I'm in" at the start, which was 53, and it's a huge number, and how many people actually delivered pictures of a finished model at the end, there's a huge gap there. So if you've got 10 people saying, "Yeah, I'm in on a ship group build," you might have one person sharing photographs at the end, or two. So yeah, I don't know, we might do something a bit more subtle and say, right, group build, things that float, and that would give you the opportunity to do a float plane, or some soldiers on a raft, or a VW Beetle stuck in a stream, or whatever you wanted. You could play a little bit with that, or have a different theme, like winter. You know, it's got to be connected to winter in some way, or you know, I've been involved in group builds that work like that on Facebook and stuff in the past, and they can be quite a lot of fun. So yeah, I think we might do a themed one next, rather than going, right, let's build a commercial vehicle, which we did first time, or a particular model. We might do a sort of broad theme which opens it up to more people, maybe. Don't know. But thank you very much. The group build pictures will be up tomorrow. So you shall still see all those on Sunday. I've still got to take pictures of mine, to be honest. Well, in fact, if I'm really honest, I did take pictures of mine, and then when I came to look at them, didn't like them, so I'm going to retake them. So yeah, that's where we are with the B17. I think we've covered off everything except for 3 more kits to sell. And all the kits that were sold, that I showed last week, were sold. And the links proved really popular, and it proved what I said. I give you a minimum price, and you can bid the minimum price, and you might fall lucky. But if you really want the kit, don't, because there was 6 people who were disappointed on the links. So someone came in with a realistic bid for actually its value, still a bargain for them, I feel, or good value at least. But it warded off all the competition. So if you really want one of the next kits I'm about to show you, make sure that you put your bid in so that you win. Because putting a low one in and crossing your fingers, I know 1 or 2 people have bid now on several and have always lost. So up to you. I mean, it could be you keep chancing it and eventually you fall lucky. Don't know. But let's have a look at the kits I'm selling this week. Right, 2 kits, sorry, that I'm selling off this week. And the first one is this. It's the Hasegawa 1:48 scale P40E Warhawk, which comes with Edward photo etch for the P40N. Most of it's common and can be used, I think. But I'm giving you the photo etch, so you're already winning before I even tell you how much you want for it. So other than that, it's the basic kit in there. The photo etch centres around the cockpit mainly, I think, but it does give you seat harnesses and stuff like that. We have done a first impressions of this kit. It's not started, but in other words, in all other ways, it's in good nick, other than the bags been removed, I think, in this one. But we'll pack it and make sure it's safe. So there you have it. I am asking 10 quid. That's posted to you. So this would probably cost me about £7 to post with the new postage rates. So 3 quid, comes with photo etch, offers above 10 quid. So, you could put a bid in for 10 quid and you might fall lucky. But if you really want it, just think about it. I seem to recall, I thought it was a relatively nice kit, and it certainly looks nice built up. So yeah, Hasegawa kit, nice plastic, Hasegawa plastic. So yeah, there you go, 10 quid. Then we've also got this one. So this I bought last November at the Telford show, and we've done a first impressions of it, and the truth is I won't get round to building it, I don't think. So it might as well go to a good home. So this is also a Hasegawa kit inside, 1/48 scale. It's a slightly older kit, but it looks really not bad, and it's a really interesting subject as well. So again, offers over a tenner, which is about a third of what I paid for it. Yeah. So again, postage for this will be about £8 because it's a bigger box and it's slightly heavier. So, you know, I'm asking £2 for the kit, really. But if you really want it, put a bit more in, and if you want to make a donation to the channel, you can add that on at the same time with your bid, and you might, you know, you might put the £10 on minimum ask, and if you're gonna put a monthly donation in of a £5, there's your £15. You've donated to the channel, and you've got yourself a bargain, still half price, with free postage. So there you go. Need to get rid of these. I need them to go to a good home. So yeah, £10 for either or both. You're quite happy for you to vote for both, and that reduces my postage, so I get a bit more for the channel. Up to you guys. There you go. That's the kit's done. Well, I think that is it for this week. Can't think of anything else that we haven't covered. We've got 2 new lovely kits into the stash. So I need to keep selling these kits off so I can put more of these kits in. I've gone through my aircraft side of the stash and wheedled out the ones that I know I want to sell. So I still have a few more to go, and then we'll be moving on to vehicles, and then we'll be moving on to ships. So I'm removing roughly a third of my stash. So yeah. So there you go, 2 lovely model kits, one that I cannot wait to get started to, and one that's waiting for me for the day when I decide, right, let's do that Vasa. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you avoid this thing that's making me not feel so bright. I've just got absolutely no energy. That's the biggest problem. I've got no energy. I have to force myself to do absolutely anything. So yeah, I'm fairly sure it's COVID because of how it's making me feel. Anyway, thanks very much for stopping by. I will see you in the week, and until then, you enjoy your modelling, and bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free, and that way you won't miss my first impressions, my tool reviews, my product reviews, and any of my builds, including wooden model kits as well as plastic. It's all free, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can hit my PayPal link in the text below. Every pound goes straight into the channel to keep the cameras rolling and to do more fun stuff for you to watch.